What's up, YouTube? How's everybody doing today? Hope you're enjoying yourselves, staying out of trouble, all that fun stuff. Let me see here. Let's turn up the microphone a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Oh, how's everyone's Thursday going? Are you enjoying it? Are you staying out of trouble? Are you staying out of trouble? That's all I got. That's all I got. So today, let me actually open up my CAD software real quick. We're going to open some SolidWorks here. We're going to do a little bit of SolidWorks nonsense, because I have a board game. Where did I put the lid to it? Oh, it's over there. Moon Colony Bloodbath. Oh, I guess I can hit the overhead camera button. Overhead. The overhead's got its cover on. So we've got this fancy tray here that holds all these baggies of goods, and I'd like to make things to go in here that holds the goods organized. So what I'm thinking is a tray with a little, divider in there, holds the, because all of them come with a 1-sized coin and a 5-sized coin. So I'm thinking divider about half the height, or a tray half the height with a divider, another one. So, because I think there's, let me count them up here. I have 1, 2 items, 3 items, and a 4th item. So I need 4 trays. This one doesn't need a tray. This is just for, these are starting tokens for everybody. And this doesn't need a tray either. This can stay. So, and the cards are already in little sections, so unnecessary. So let's see here. Let's make a new assembly in SolidWorks. So let's see here. Right screen. We're going to make a new assembly. And let's see. File. Save to this PC. Board games, new folder, and it's going to be Moon Colony Bloodbath. And open MC Bloodbath inserts. If I could spell, well, I guess I could type better. Inserts. Alright, so now we're in an assembly. So what I like to do in my assemblies is create a new part, and this is going to be the actual box. So basically, I just need to know the general shape that I'm going to be inserting everything into. That way I have a dimension. So if I do my overhead camera button, if I do my overhead, basically, I'm going to measure these 2 trays here and make sure they're the same size. And I'm just going to replicate the inside of this tray in CAD. And then I'm going to put everything in there. That way I have the dimensions saved. So let me go back to, I guess we'll do this button. Let's get a measuring device out. So, oh yeah. Part 1. Part 1 is going to be, we're going to name it, tray. Okay. And top plane. And we're going to make a rectangle. Boom, look at that, we made a rectangle. And we're going to dimension, so the first dimension I'm going to get is this dimension. And that's going to be, let's measure both of them. So that is 87 millimeters, and that one is, oh no, it's not 87, I'm a doomie. 83? 83 millimeters? About the same. So it's going to be 83 millimeters. And then we're going to do this dimension. Boop, boop. And that's going to be another number. That one I guarantee I know the size of. $120. We'll say 120. That's a nice even number. 120. And then we'll offset. And we'll go 3 millimeters. Oop. Oh, that was silly. That was silly. Okay. Click on this. Offset entity. 3 millimeters. Boom. And then we're going to feature and extrude boss base. And what's my height? How tall can I make this? $40 millimeters. Boom. So that is what I can fit in there. So let's go ahead and exit this item, and we'll give it change transparency. So it's just going to always stay transparent. That we know it doesn't exist. So new part. And we're going to name this thing token tray divided. Sure. And we're going to do that also on the top plane. And we'll flip this upside down. And we'll put a rectangle in here. There's probably a better way of doing this. I just like doing this because I only have to do this once. So we'll, actually we shouldn't do 0.2. That might be a little tight. Ooh, we'll do 0.5 millimeter all the way around. Equal to this one. And actually there's a way better way of doing this thing. But I've already decided to do it the wrong way. Alright, there's the bottom of our tray. Let me think about this. Do I want a lid for these trays? That way things don't spill out. The board does go, well, the boards do go on top, so there shouldn't be much of an issue of spill out. Alright, we won't worry about that then. What else do we want to do? Want to do anything fancy with that? Because I could make them stack. I could do whatever, but no. No. All right. Boom. We're done dimensioning. Feature. Extrude boss base. And we're gonna go 20 millimeters, because that's half. And boom. And here's the fun part with 3D printing stuff for inserts. So, oh yeah, like I'm not even showing the CAD work here. I'm such an amateur. So this little baggie has 5s, and there's not very many of them. I mean, there's like a few tokens, and the ones have more. So it takes up more space. But then we look at this bag, and there's way more of these than this. So I do believe this will fit. And then, yeah, that should fit. I don't think I have to do anything fancy. I could. We could make these custom. So I designed this tray, and it holds these beautiful pieces for this game. And notice how they're nice and, you know, you can just grab the piece, just nice and easy to grab the piece. I could do something like this where I actually lay them all out, or I could just make a divided tray. Do I want to do divided tray, or do I want to make this more difficult on myself? Do I want to make them fancy? So we need to do some measuring. So let's do the top-down view again. Overhead with main, sure. Don't mind my gross board, or my gross mat here. Oop. Oop. Hold on. Hold on. Click. All right, I'm back. All right. Overhead. So I could do this. It measures out. This is always the hard part when you design inserts for games. Like, do you want it to be fancy? Like, I literally just need some trays to keep the parts in and people can just grab them. But then my brain goes, make it fancy. The only downfall is they're all different shaped pieces. So I think divided tray is just going to be, it's just going to be it. It's just going to have to be a divided tray. It's going to make my life easier. Divided tray. Maybe I'll make them stack cool? I don't know, I don't have a ton of room. Oh, stupid sinuses. Alright. Okay. I have 3 double-sided trays and 1 non-divided tray. Can do. Really, I didn't have to go this crazy and design an insert for it, but whatever. All right, so basically what we did is we created the outer box. That's what it's going to fit into. That way we know the dimensions fit and everything like that. And this is the first tray. And I guess we'll just make a regular tray of this. So we'll just sketch. And we will convert entities. Oh no, we don't need to convert entities. Control Z. We're going to offset entities and we're going to reverse that. And we'll do 2 millimeters. Sure, 2 millimeter offset sounds great. Hey, what's up, Viking? And then we'll add a center line. Boom. Boom. Escape. And then we'll use that to do this. Don't mind that nonsense. Boom. And where is it? There's that line. Need that point and that line. They're going to quinky dink. Shell feature. Grubby, you know I don't know how to use shell features. So that should make the divided box. I mean, this is just a really simple tray I need for this. Because what's nice is I don't need to make covers or anything, because this will be covered. I'm doing pretty good, Viking. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? All right, so the dimensions are good. We can escape. We can feature and extrude cut. And we're going to select those 2 things. And we're going to go from blind to offset from surface, offset from that surface, 2 millimeters. Boom. Now we have a divided tray. Now, I need to make a second one of these trays without a divider in it. Because I need 3 of these trays to be printed. And I need 1 tray without a divider printed. I mean, I can leave the divider. I mean, you know what? Let's leave the divider. Because I have one object that only has. I have one object that doesn't have. This is just ones. This technically doesn't need a tray, but I can just put this on 1/2 and this 1/2, and I'm good to go. So I really only need 1 tray. And then I'll maybe work on something. I mean, this is really easy. This is nice about this one. It's super simple. Planning on getting some code work done. Gaming. Today is the Steam summer sale. I might have spent $15 with Steam. So real quick, exit the sketch. I'll show you. How about I make a whole new part? So let's exit this bad boy, and we'll insert a new part. And we'll name that Grubby Tray. And we'll make it right on top of this tray. All right. What do you want me to do, Grubby? I'm learning. Since all I'm really going to do with that tray is add a bunch of fillets to it. I'm going to round the corners, and I'm going to put little ramps. That way when you grab the piece, you can scoop the piece out. That's something that I always like to have in a tray. I picked this game because I knew it was going to be easy. I didn't realize it was going to be this easy. But do all the fancy things. Hey, I'm broke, so I got no money for new games, but I might play some Drive. Oh, nice. All right, build the box again. So I'm going to hit. Let's do the box the way I should have done it. Let me hit this. And no, we won't do it that way. We'll just do it the way I like doing. We'll just build a box. Blah. And we'll go fancy. Smart dimension. Boom. Boom. 0.5. Equal to this one. And equal to this one. And equal to this one. And we will hit this button and extrude boss base, and we'll go to 20 millimeters. All right, I've made the box again. My focus is off. Hit this button, and I think it's this way. There we go. Manual focus capabilities through the buttons. Never use a shell feature. Oh yeah, that's right. Right screen. There we go. I have made a box on top of my box. I see this shell feature option right up here. I do make lots of boxes. Here, hold on. There we go. Now you can see me and the box. So on the feature toolbar, click shell. All right, shell. Definitely show preview. And 2 millimeters, because that's what I want everything to be. I now have a hollow thing. Then click on the top face of the box you just made. Top face, got it. Oh, that extended the shell to the face. So now that area, oh. So if I click on this face, will also, oh my gosh. That is a really handy feature. Oh, well then. Look at that nonsense. What? Set your offset dimension, click OK. I did. That's it. And then all I did was hit this and sketch. And then I just made a center line. And boom. And then I added a box here. I did this. And then I zoomed in so I can find the center point. Give me center point. Yeah. And that. And I made that a quinky dink. You use multi-dimension shell to set a different bottom thickness, etc. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so I made that a quinky dink. And then I just dimensioned this. That's 2 millimeters, and that made a perfect center. A rib tool? What? What is this rib tool you speak of? Hold on, is that another one? Oh, rib adds a thin wall support to a solid body by adding material between one or more sketch contours. What? Oh. Interesting. Well, we're not gonna do that. Exit the sketch. Should I delete this sketch or should I leave it? Really, we should do a day where Grubby just teaches everyone how to do SolidWorks. Sleepy Panda. See, you just have to let me know. Do I stay in this? Do I delete this? Do I leave the center? No, I probably won't leave the center line because they're going to disappear. That's only part of the sketch. So I'll just leave the sketch. Discard, changes, and exit. There we go. And I can add construction lines here, right? It's another way of doing what you're doing for a single divider. It's not really any more efficient. Got it. All right, I've exited the sketch. Now you're going to teach me you can leave what you have. Well, I did. Which did nothing. Hey, what's up, Vince? I do have a fancy box to open down here. I ordered a whole bunch of filament because I was out of gray. Everyone going to watch me open up a whole bunch of gray. But I think I might have something else in there. I don't know. Let me put my wrist rest back over here since I'm not going to do... I might pick another game to work on. I have a much harder game I'm working with. What is this rib tool? Oh. Guessing it needs something. Oh, look at this sketch over here. Let's just delete this sketch. Oh, well. How you don't have a whole bunch of gray in that beard is beyond me. Well, there's some in here. But I can't put it in my printer and tell it to print with it. So, yes. All right. So how do I use this rib feature? I just got an email. I really should turn my notifications off. I'm streaming. So let me spin this button and hit this button. And now I'm on Do Not Disturb. Now all my screen's turned off. Look at that tray underneath here that I did the slow way. That no one got to see. One sec, coughing? Man, that would have come in handy making this tray. I had so many things. Oh, eyeball. Okay, create a sketch on top of the box. Like above it? Like a sketch up here? Like right click, make a oh wait, hold on. Why is this down here? Why is this? I can't move that. Discard, changes, and exit. Yes. There we go. All right, let's go back to this and edit component. All right. So make a sketch up here. I made a sketch on top of the box. On the top of the edge, same plane you shelled from. The same plane I shelled from. Okay. Got it. This is weird. I've never done this via text. Normally Grubby's on screen in Discord, and he would tell me how to do this. If you didn't know, Grubby in chat is like an expert in SolidWorks. I'm just the thing. Draw some between the midpoint of the top, the midpoint, and the bottom edge. All right. Construction line or just draw a line? Do you want a construction line, a center line, or a line line? We're all learning together. The two of us that use SolidWorks. Regular line. All right, regular line. Midpoint to midpoint. Got it. Done. He's an expert in Frank's facts, and these are all Frank's facts. I've drawn the line. Now go to... Oh, wait. Someone was a dummy. I didn't enter... Hold on. Discard and exit. I forgot to actually go to assembly and edit component before I did any of that. Sketch. Line. And center point to center point. There we go. Now click the rib tool. Features. Rib. Thickness. 1 millimeter. Now, it looks like it's making... Oh, okay. So if I did... Wait, I don't even have to do that. I can hit up, right? Up. 2 millimeters. Oh, that's ribbing it that way. Ah, this way. Okay, and that goes downward. Oh, and you can actually taper it? This would be useful. All right, so I have a 2 millimeter rib. And do I just hit yes? Will it connect it down here, or do I need to tell it to connect to stuff? Just hit the button. Let's see what happens. Oh, it made a thing. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty spiffy. That's going to be very helpful, actually. I have a lot of things where I'm like, how do I do that? Alright, and then I would leave this, and then all I got to do is go over here to assembly and features and fillet, and I want to add a whole bunch of fancy fillets that are, we'll do 3 millimeters. No, not 4. What is this nonsense? Downward arrow, 3 millimeters. No, don't. There we go. I want that, and I want this, and I want this. And I want this. And this. And nope, not that. No. No. Stop. Stop. No. No. I'm going to go back here and hit delete. And hit delete. There we go. And boom. And then I go over here. And I go boom. And I go this way. And I want this line. And I want this line. And I want... Hold on. Make sure I'm grabbing... Yeah, that line. And this line. Boom. And do this. So that makes it all cool for a tray. And then I want my other fillet. And this one will be 10 millimeters. And I'm going to do this edge. No, I don't want... no tangent propagation. There we go. That's what I want. No tangent propagation. I remember my features. There we go. That's all I wanted. Boom. Now I have exactly what I wanted. I have a grubby tray. Well then, that was the easiest one ever because I just need to print 4 of those grubby trays. So let me hit save. Save all. And select grubby tray. File. Export. And options. Export. Hey Grubby, do you remember where the setting is? So that way when it exports the name, it does the name of the object and then the name of the part. Not sure why you're doing that in the assembly and not in the part. I always do it in the assembly because I'll I'll do all that nonsense and then I'll use it as a reference and then I change something and then for some reason those curves don't seem to work very well when I like try to steal, like if I try to use convert entities and I change the curve or I change something, it doesn't like taking that in the convert entity. So I do everything at the very end. I go in the assembly and add all the fillets because that way I can always remove those and not destroy the stealing certain assets from certain parts. Because I do a lot of things where I stack stuff. So like I'll make like a bunch of trays that stack and nest in each other, and if I do the fillet and then I go back and like, oh, that size is wrong, and I use a convert entity somewhere, or I used it to what is that? I use a collinear, and that curve isn't there anymore, or I change and it's like it breaks. So I tend to do that all in the end outside of it. That way, if I ever have to change a dimension, it all just works. And then if it does mess up something, it's something that's outside the assembly. I just delete it, and it doesn't mess with anything else. So, trying to remember if it can. There used to be a way where I could have a name, where it's like, because I named this thing Moon Colony Bloodbath Inserts, and I want it to be. I remember I used to be able to do like export as Moon Colony Bloodbath Insert, and then I have like a little caret, and I'd be like tray, like the part would be the next thing in the statement. I don't remember how to do that. I had to wipe my whole computer because I got annoyed. I got annoyed, so I wiped the whole computer a week and a half ago. So actually, it was a week ago today. Not even a week and a half ago. Oh, whatever. SolidWorks. In the board games. Go to your save options while you create the step file. Oh, okay. And there's... Oh, this is where the options take me now. There's a description thingy. Oh, go to the save options when you create the step file. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And Moon Colony Bloodbath. There you are. And say export. Yes, export only the selected objects. Yes, I only want the grubby tray. Because that's all I need. I just need the grubby tray. I mean, everything else is unnecessary. All right, file, export as, click on options. Yeah, reinstalling Windows is probably the best thing I've done. Because like a lot of people didn't know, so I had a computer previously to this that I had built. It was like 3 years ago. I built a brand new one when I was here. And then I built a new one last year. And instead of just like putting a fresh install of Windows, I took that drive and put it in my new computer. I still had Windows 10 on it. So one, it didn't like the fact I just took the hard drive and moved it to a whole new like motherboard, like everything was new on it. It worked. And then I upgraded to Windows 11, and it just was buggy as poo. And I just kind of live with it. And then I had a motherboard die, so I bought a whole new motherboard while Asus gave me the free, like, they're like, oh yeah, we'll replace it if we can't fix it. And, you know, they have a 5-year warranty on anything. But I was like, I need a motherboard now, so I bought a new motherboard to have in the meantime. And that was a completely different motherboard than I had. I just was like, oh, I need more. I'll just buy one with more USB ports because I'm always low on USB ports. So I bought one with like 11 USB 3 ports and like some USB-C ports and whatever. So it was, you know, it was fancy. So I just moved that drive again to a whole new motherboard. And at this point, like Windows was like constantly buggy. I had stuff I installed for like 4 years that were still on the drive, and I was like, I'll just wipe this, which was actually funny. So I had like 1 terabyte free on my 2 terabyte. I shouldn't have gotten a 2 terabyte Windows install drive. It's just kind of 1 or 500. But I was down to 1 terabyte free, and then I just reinstalled everything with all the programs I actually use, and it was only taking like I still have 1.6 terabytes free. It's so funny. As separate stuff files. Yep, I do that. But how do I make the name? How do we make the name? Document properties? No. Single command per pick. I don't know. Grubby, you gotta remind me how to Go to your save options. I'm in the save options, well, export options. And I don't see... Sorry, I misunderstood what you were trying to get. The default file name can be set in the templates. Templates. I don't know where that is. I'll worry about that later. So let's make sure that works. So SolidWorks and board games and Moon Colony Bloodbath. And there is my grubby tray. A whole whopping 89 kilobytes, and I just got to print 4 of those. I guess I'll open up the package here, and then I'll find some other thing to work on and try this rib tool and shell option, because that's pretty dope. That's going to help me a bunch. Now I can make all kinds of things. All right. Close this, and we'll make me the more important thing. I got this box in the mail because I'm lazy and I hate cardboard spools. And I like refills. I hate destroying the environment, but I hate cardboard spools. So this is one of the only companies that gives me refills that go in plastic spools that also work in the AMS. It's such a bunch of nonsense. But we can open it up. Why am I opening this thing left-handed? I'm not a lefty. But it was also on the summer sale, so each one of these rolls was $13 each. 13 bucks. Oh, wow, that's a mess. Look at that. Refill spools. And it's got their new fancy tags on them. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got to make sure you inventory these things. They send... I've had more mistakes from them than not. I ordered a bunch of gray last time, and they sent me a different color gray, and I was just too annoyed to send it back. Alright, that's it. 7 rolls. 7 rolls. Of gray filament. Alright, let's load up a roll of filament. I also gotta put this all away. Ugh. Alright. Yeah, I basically use only gray. I try to print all my inserts in gray because very rarely do you have gray components for board games. They tend to be very colorful. The only time I use colors is I have the general like red, blue, green, yellow, because that's a color component. So like if you're a player, I don't think I have a game near me. This game might be an example of what I normally try to do. If not, I got to grab a really big box, and that's just not going to be. That's just not going to be worth it. Oh, this is a game that I did it too. Yay! This game is awesome. So for this game, I used the colors. So this is purple players' pieces. See? Notice how they have purple players and purple case. Here's green player in his green case. So that's the only time I use any colors. That way I can quickly just hand people like, what color do you want to be? I want to be blue. You hand them their blue box with all the blue pieces. This game is awesome, by the way. Check out this production value nonsense. So you're trying to build... So this is basically a really creepy take on... This board game is really creepy. So it's a creepy take on Frankenstein's monster. And you've got this cool board with spinners telling you how close you are. You have to like basically get these all lined up, and you're going to build your own abomination, which is the name of the game. So you're going to make your own Frankenstein over here on this side, and you actually get the cadaver part. So like, and what's cool is it's kind of like a sandbox. There isn't just one way to get cadaver parts. You can kill people. There's like, you can go to back alley and murder people and steal parts from them, or you can go to the graveyard and get less fresh parts, or you can like rob the school for parts. It's like literally like, here's a chess piece, and there's two different sides, and as you like do your stuff to it, it flips over like, oh, you've got it partly alive, and you know, here's a leg, you know, and then you like, oh yeah, look at that leg, the leg isn't ready yet, and you flip it over when you get the leg working correctly. So yeah, it's a really fun take on Frankenstein's monster. And it has one of my favorite mechanics, which is worker placement. You basically just move around the board and hire people to do dirty work. So like, you sit at home and do nothing while, and the board is gorgeous too. Oh, let's bust out the board. It actually has spot UV coating. So yeah, there you go. You can see the spot UV coating. I'll always love that in a board. But yeah, so you move around the board and you can like murder people and get their parts. I find all these games because I watch a lot of YouTube. This game I specifically just bought online, but I find out about these games through the internet. But this is awesome. So if you like horror themed games, this is really fun. It's because my favorite board game, which is up over, actually it's back here, but it's off camera. It's so hard to do this because it's backwards. It's off camera. But this game, love the theme, love the whole thing, very thematic. And so I printed, oh, this isn't the right thing. I printed these rules, and these rules make the game go faster. So the game actually doesn't play very well. And there's a bunch of, I'll show you the art. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's really cool for art. Yeah. So there's some fan-made rules to make the game play faster. But the other game that I love called My Father's Work, which is similar to that, instead of just making Frankenstein's monster as one of the things, but there's like, make a giant spider machine, make a time machine, and it's very thematic. You actually use an app, and it's got music and everything that's all like moody. But let's load up a spool of bamboo filament. Sure, I'll be on screen when this happens. Why not? Let's kick my keyboard out the way. Move over keyboard. All right, let's see. Well, this isn't going to be very hard to open. But I think I got that board game from cardhouse.com. Fan-made rules made Monopoly play way slower. Yeah, this one makes it play faster. Ah, look at that. It's very gray and very suctioned. Much vacuum. And then I just throw away this piece of cardboard. Now, I really wish they just send it. I wish I could just buy them like this. I don't need this box. This is useless to me. But it's the alternative to me who hates cardboard spools. Because even though I love me some Polymaker, this absorbs moisture like nothing. This does still absorb moisture, but far less than this. So you dry this filament, and then this is just paper, which is a wick for moisture. So all you're doing is drawing moisture to this. So this, and then like you drop it, and it's useless because you'll like bend the corner and it no longer spins. In order to use it in your AMS, you have to 3D print a plastic edge. It's such a headache. So save the environment. Just make refillable. Like, this is genius. Like, I loved Master Spool. I wish it caught on. But, like, every brand just needs to do this. Just make me a spool that you're already going to make and just make it so it goes apart. Like, this is just, you know, this goes in here. It's just done. You know, you take that apart. You get your sharp object. You do the... Oh, I didn't make the fun sound. I always love when vacuums make a vacuum sound. Oh, yeah. And I see more plastic waste. But it's got to be sealed. And then you just... There's a key. See the key? See the key? See where the key goes? See? And then you find the key. Yeah, there's the key. There's the keyhole. It fits. You take this bit and you go... Find where that locks in. There it is. Boom, lock it. Oh, look at that. And then all you do is pull these plastic tabbies out. Uno. Yeah, the old eSun spools. And I think eSun, or one of the companies that eSun owns, makes the spools for Bamboo. Because we know that Bamboo didn't start a filament manufacturing company. So... And then here's the end that has a little piecey bit. Boom. And then you find a hole to put it in. Get in there. Boom. Look at that. None. And I didn't kill too many trees. I mean, I still have all this plastic waste and whatever, but it's minimal. I didn't need a whole nother one of these. I didn't need one of these shipped to me. So I saved this, and this isn't a moisture net. And now I can replace a filament spool in my thingy. Get rid of an OG roll. This is one of the very first rolls of Prusament that came in this fancy spool. This is one of their first ones. Look how little bit left in there of Galaxy. And then we can get this man boy. And technically, I can show you what I'm doing over here because I can control this camera this way. Look at that. PTZ camera for the win. Cut your end nice and flat. And stick it in the MS. And done. Camera main. All right. And now I got to recenter the camera. Boom. Actually, I need to tilt the camera a little bit. Nope, this way. There we go. Now she's level. Boop. All right. So I'm not going to print because the printer is right here. But we can work on another CAD project. Or does anyone have any questions on filament? When was this filament made? Let me take a look. It's got the little barcode-y thing here. Producing their weird... Oh. The barcode reader no read the barcode on here. Oh, there it is. This filament was produced... made on 4/3/2021. Plus or minus 0.012. Ovality 1.4%. Made in the Czech Republic. Look at that. I learned. That is a 4-year-old spool of filament that I've left out. It was just sitting in the thing and it's still printed just fine. There's maybe 1 or 2 loops of filament left on there. I don't know what to do with that. It goes right there. All right. Let's go back to CAD here. OBS and right screen. All right, so we finished this. That is exactly what I wanted. I wanted a tray that I could put pieces in and dig out, and 2 of them fit in my box. So let's put all this nonsense back and find another game I need to make inserts for. I have a list. All right. Goodbye, Moon Colony Bloodbath. One game I'm actually struggling with inserts is this game, is Quacks. They just renamed Quacks of Quellingberg into Quacks. So I made this tray. This is the first one. This is my prototype tray. Holds all the bits and bobs. Here's a little like card to tell you what the bits and bobs do. And it covers it. See how nicely it covered it? Look at that. Nice and flat. Put the next one on top. And when you're playing the game, you can insert the cards here, and they tell you what it does. That way, when you play the game, oh yeah, this thing makes. I mean, it's the wrong pieces. This is a spider. There are those spider dudes. That's a mushroom. I don't. But yeah, my issue was after measuring everything, I wouldn't have enough trays to fill up an entire empty box, because the box is far too large. This is the box, and literally all the pieces would fit in this box. Oh, there, this is better. Like, I can fit 4. Let me move this out of the way. Then you can see. So if I need 8 of these trays. And really the rest of the pieces just are right here. That's it, and these baggies. So if I were to print 8 of these, you can see that I'm going to have a lot of open box, which means if I were to put this back on a shelf, as soon as I put it vertically, everything's going to dump and move around, and it's going to make a bunch of noise. So then I was working on designing a bunch of spacers to fill in the space. I was like, I don't want to waste all that room. And I've seen other designs. Like, there's already other designs. It's just, I really want to do it myself. And then I was thinking, like, man, what if, let me go to overhead. Overhead. What if, instead of having this little, like, tray where I hold the pieces in here, what if this slid in here and there was, like, something that gripped the corners, and then all I had to do was tilt this. You know, tilt it, and it'll just sit there. It'll be like a lid, so it'd make itself into its own open and closed lid. I thought that would be super cool. And then I realized that it's outside of my wheelhouse. Very much outside my wheelhouse. Actually, let me turn that back up. Turn that back up. Turn this down. I think I peaked a little bit there. Yeah, I really want to do like a hinged lid and use these things. So I'd have to put like a corner in here, but then I realized they'd have to be pretty tight to hold that in. Yeah, I could do 2 parts. I really want to be able to print it. I would print it vertically, and then it would have a post that would print, and it can print inside of itself. So you just kind of open it up and then stick the piece in there and then close it down. But, you know, maybe outside of my designing wheelhouse, where you would print vertically, because I can do these overhangs. These overhangs are easy enough. And then you just pull it off the bed and flip it up, stick the piece in there and close it. So I'd be like, that would be cool. Or I can make a lid for it. But this is always a problem with 3D printing inserts is some games have a lot of stuff, and printing the inserts is easy because you just use up all the space. Don't have enough minutia in this game to fill up. I mean, the box is just way too big. I mean, this box just, like, once you pull out this little insert here, like, once you print 8 of these, so I can fit 3 of them this way, 3 of them this way. I mean, and it's not even half. Like, and I was trying to keep it, you know, tight so that way I didn't have, like, a ton of extra room. So, but yeah, this is always a problem you get when you're printing for boxes, because sometimes they're just obnoxiously big. Like, this box did not need to be this big for this game whatsoever, because I need 8 of these, and that's it. But I want 8 of these that the lid won't fall off on. So I need to really think about how I want to go and do that. I don't know if I want to do that right now. I might do that on a different stream. That's going to be a long one. I don't have a ton of time. Quacks. Alright. Let me take a look at my game collection and see what I can print inserts for. Because the problem is, in this hobby space, there's people who literally, like, buy games just to make inserts. So, unless it's a game that isn't very... Unless it's, like, super new or a game that's not very popular, you're going to find inserts online already to print. So, this is my shelf of shame over here. So, the main board game collection's back here. Shelf of shame's over here. So these are games that I own, but have not played yet in person. Like that game over there, I play at least a game or two of that a week, but it's online. You know what? I just got a new game, and I opened it up on stream on Monday. Let's open it up and make inserts for the components. Now this one already has a fancy tray to hold stuff in. Like this already has a game tray. Like this already holds the main components that you need and all of your little fish cards. But I brought some upgraded components because I'll show you. I'll show everyone. This has components underneath here that I haven't popped yet. So here's all the components that the game comes with. So here's all the eggs and oh no, don't pop them yet. Just leave them untouched. Yeah, get back in there. Get back in your home. So hard to do one-handed. Oh, the headset actually plugs directly in, so it monitors, so I can hear. This does both my headset and it does monitoring, so I can hear the microphone. So if I pick up some weird stuff, I know it's happening. That way I don't have to monitor through the software, which always has like a delay. Yeah, so I have these upgraded components. It'd be nice to make a little tray to fit in here. And it's not like I don't have plenty of room. Like, I have all this room to put a tray. Ooh, I also need to laminate this. Alright. So if that goes there, and this goes here, I have all this room to build one tray to hold all this nonsense in. Something for these eggs, and something for these. So something like that. Maybe Maybe a tray about that big that holds and a lid. Let's do it. Let's make a tray like that. So let's pull this out. We'll use our new rib tool and shell feature. Give me my keyboard back. But I basically just need to measure a general size for this. So we're talking, I would say 180 millimeters by like 150 millimeters. Probably go smaller than that. 150 by 180. Someone write that down in chat so I remember. I will forget. Alright, so right screen. File. New. New assembly. Definitely need a lid for this one. Okay. And file. Save to this PC. Board games. New folder. Oh, it's one N. Fin span. 360 by 300. That seems a little larger than what I said. Fin span. Insert. And top plane. Nope. New part. Component tray. Top plane. 150 by 180, I think I said. I could probably shrink that a bit because it's gonna have some height. So let's go. I don't know if bigger is better in this instance. Do 160 by 100. And the height, or I guess the depth into the box. I have plenty of room in here. I have 40 millimeters that I can play with in there. That's quite a bit of space. Feature, extrude boss base. And we'll go with 30 just seems like so much. Like, that's just going to have so many bits and bobs. We'll just do 25 millimeters. And done. And then we do shell. And 2 millimeter shell. Show preview. Boom. Click the top of the thing. Boom. That is so much faster. Grubby, where have you been for the last 2 years? If not longer. Oh, so much room. The existing I mean, there's just so much room in here. I've got 160 millimeters by 210 millimeters. But I don't want to have like a whole bunch of nonsense. So I'm thinking is one long tray and 2 shorter ones. And then some cool curvies. And then I got to figure out a lid for it. I don't know if I'll do like a drop top lid or if I'll do a sliding lid. I kind of like the sliding lid because I just put a band around it, or I could put like a locking mechanism in it. So sketch on top, and then we're going to put a line from here to here, and then another line from midpoint here to here. Boom. And then this needs to have And a mount. 25? How does that look? It looks pretty okay. Let's do 30. There we go. And then we'll use feature rib, 2 millimeters. And boom. Oh, this is way too easy, Grummy. Way too easy. All right. Wow. Okay. Huh. That should hold everything and have plenty of room for anything else. Oh, hold on. I'm back. All right. I just need to do one more thing. Right screen. Need to figure out a lid. Could just do a generic lid on top of this. I could. Could just do a generic lid. I think that's probably going to work the best. Less likely for all the bits and bobs to fall out. So, let's... You know what? We'll just do all the fillets in here. Not chamfers. You silly goose pimple. Chamfers. Let's do these pull out of the tray ones first. 10 millimeters should be fine. Wait, no. Not chamfer. Fillet. Give me the fillet. Yeah, fillet. 10 millimeters. 10 millimeters. And done. And then we'll add the corners. These will be 3 millimeters. No tangent propagation. I don't need no propagation. Oh, man. Wait, what? Oh, it's missing the thing. Edit feature. Yep, that did the bottom of the case. Delete. There we go. See, that's why we do this. 3 millimeters. Not the face. No tangent propagation. Boom, boom, boom. Nope, forgot this one. Alright, do we do them all? Alright, we got all the internal ones, so let's do all the external ones now. Boom. Boom. Hey, come on. One more corner. And boom. Look at that. That is so pretty. That's going to hold so many components. And we will add a lid. So leave this component and insert component. Let's see here. Can I learn from what Grubby taught me? All right, let's see here. Let's make a new reference geometry, new plane. We'll make that new plane off of this. And we want that plane to be 2 millimeters above that. Boom. And we'll name this offset from tray. And we'll make a new part. And we're going to name that part tray lid. And we'll use that, and we will make a... Oh, we can even do better. We can hit... let's see, offset entity. And we'll do 0.2 millimeters all the way around. And we'll do offset entities. 2 millimeters. Okay, or just mess that up. At 2. Boom. Okay. Oh wait, I didn't need the inside one. All right, Control Z, Control Z. Okay. Escape. Select that edge. Offset entities. 2 point. Okay. Let me ponder this. So I want my entity, I want my lid to be, still have the 2 millimeter thickness in the wall, but I want it to be 0.2 millimeters off the edge. So I want it to be 2.04? 0.2. Oh man. 2.4 millimeters. 0.2. Yeah, okay. Boom. Boom. And then we're going to feature, extrude boss base. I'm going to go the other direction. Blind up to surface. This surface. Boom. And then we're going to shell. Don't do the math, let the software do the math. I don't know how to do that. Show preview. And yeah, 2 millimeters. So now I have a lid for the box. Width is 0.2 millimeters. Oh, that's right. I could make the offset and then I could dimension the offset. You're right, Grubby. You're right. So what I could do is go back to this boss extrude, edit the sketch, and yeah, okay, it put it in there for me, 2.4 millimeters. But yeah, I could have dimensioned that myself. I could have just made it and... But I did it. That's a lid for a box. Now that lid needs some finger grabby spots. So sketch and center line. Come on, where's the thing? Oh, there it is. Boom. Circle. Boom. And I already know this one. I make a 35 millimeter circle. And I can dimension. I think if I hold shift. I'm trying to remember. So if I hit dimension and I hit shift. Yeah, that's what I want. See? I'm learning. Wait, where's my dimension? There we go. And I want that to be 12 millimeters in. That makes the arc I want. And then we go to feature, extruded cut. And we go through all. Boom. And then we take the fillet tool and 3 millimeters. It works for me. Take off the Sharpie corners. Nope, bad boy. There we go. Now we have a box with a lid. Dang, that was so much easier using the shell tool and rib tool. Thank you, Mr. Grubby. That was amazing. Boom. Now I have thing. See? Now I have thing. And see, it's got a little gap because you gotta have the tolerances in there. And oh, here's a question, Grubby. How do I select this like lid? How do I like just be able to move it? Is there like just to show that I can open and close? Like, how do I do that? Oh. You just need to right-click the part in the feature tree and select float. And is it one of these things? Is this one of the floats? Suppress? Nope. Feature tree. I don't see a float. I wish it were alphabetical order. Oh, wait. Does it have to be in here? Like boss extrude? Or the solid body? Expand the part and go to the mates. I have these mates. Nope, scratch float. Okay, I'm scratching the float. Yeah, this is the only thing I've never learned how to do. Can I motion study it? Suppress your in-place mates. So... suppress. Okay, I've suppressed the tray lid mate. Oh. Oh, okay. Now I can just move it around in space. It's a lid. So if I hold shift, will it... Nope. Alright, that's cool. Yeah. Look at that, everyone. I made a box with a lid. I'm going to screenshot this for posterity. I've got hotkeys for everything. Window. Yeah, I took a screenshot. Okay. Well, let's save this. I haven't done that at all. Rebuild and save the document. Whoa! Unsuppress. There we go. Whoopsie. Alright, so if I unsuppress the mates and move around and I rebuild, it rebuilds from wherever I put it from. Duly noted. I can't just move it around and do whatever. Okay, so file, export as, board games, FinSpan, export. Sure you were. SolidWorks and board games and FinSpan And component tray. Tray lid and component tray. That's what I wanted. And let's open up Orca Slicer real quick. Yeah, real quick. Look at how quickly that opens. New project. And component tray and tray lid. No. Oh, so used to being the CAD software. Now it's dragging the plane around. I don't like it. There we go. And then arrange. Yeah, look at that. I made a tray with... Oh, I hate this. So used to being in CAD. That's the back. There we go. Look at that. And slice plate. And that's going to take 3 hours to print. I mean, it's a lot of flat surface. What time is it? Okay. I'll send it to print. In gray. And then actually, this one I don't need a test. Let me save this, and we'll go to bamboo. Bamboo. And this is thin span component tray. All right, prepare. Nope. New project. And board games, Moon Colony Bloodbath, and Grubby Tray. Boop. And we can auto. Boom. Look at that. So fancy. All right, we'll print one of these and make sure it fits where it needs to go, and then I'll print the rest of them. This shouldn't take very long. Slice plate. 56 minutes. That's perfect. Because I'm done for the day. I'm going to print plate, and yep, that's what I want. Because I am done for the evening. I'm going to eat dinner, which is going to be a peanut butter and banana sandwich. Have myself a glass of milk. And then I'm going to do... I don't know what I'm going to do. I got nothing today. This was the last thing I want to do, was design a couple trays. And now I even learned how to make my trays better. I can make all kinds of shapes and just rib things in there. This is going to be fantastic. That's going to save me... actually, I just might as well redo a whole bunch of trays that I've been working on. Dang. I guess I'll end the stream with... nice. I'm this many. You're this many what, Grubby? That makes no sense. That's not a word. Oh, you're playing Nice Day for Fishing? Yeah. All right. Let's go to... where is it? Where is it? Cube timer, CS timer. Let's do my Rubik's Cube solving screen. And it's... yep, there's the right window. All right. Let's set this thing up. So, this way. U2, R2, U2, 4 prime, L2, back, R2, back prime, front prime, D2, R2, U, back, U, B, nope, B2, front, D, back prime, L prime, U2. Yep, that's the same top as what's shown in the thing. So let's figure this thing out. Oofda. Oofda, I don't like this one at all. All right. Oh, wrong screen. All right. Go. Okay, and then now this is the part I'm really bad at, the lookup part. All right. Green. Okay. And boom. Boom. And yep. And then my final corner is here. I need the blue. Oh. Ooh, I know this one. Okay, and then okay, this, and then this and this. 1:05. Still in my normal time zone. And to think I'm only 1:02 faster than the world record. Or slower. I'm 1:02 slower than the world record. That was a good way to end the stream. Staying within my normal speed times on cubing. A whole 4 seconds faster than my previous time. So that's pretty good. Making a joke about PB&J with a glass of milk. Oh, that's a joke, huh? Oh. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. Grubby, really appreciate you teaching me stuff. We'll have to do a day where you just teach me stuff, because I do a lot of CAD stuff, but it's still very slow and nonsense. And do you still do a bunch of CAD for work? Are you still doing all the stuff for the ups, or what are you doing now? Oh, stupid sinuses. Oh, look at all these freckles and these wrinkles. I'm getting old. My skin is getting wrinkly. Yeah. We can even get you on stream, and then you can really show me how to do stuff. Or we can just drop into Discord sometime. I'm guessing you still probably go to Vikings Discord. Let's see here. Not direct messages. That's over here. Oh, look at that. You're in his Discord right now. Just making a joke. But trying to get another teaching gig. Oh. Nice. Well, maybe I'll have dinner and then I'll hop into the Discord and maybe go over more stuff. But I think the stream is good. I try not to stream for more than like an hour, and I'm already at 2 hours on this stream. So, but it was good. I got to learn a lot, and I super appreciate that. So, and then I can, oh, if I start this print, I can't jump into Discord because it's going to be buzzing by my head the entire time. Well, whatever. Because the overhead camera is actually hooked up to this. Here, hold on. I can hit this button, and I can hit this, and then I can do this. Oh, this. There's the overhead camera. So that overhead camera right there. Oh, no, you're not supposed to see the shelf of shame. No, shelf of shame. Those are all the games that no one's seen yet. There we go. Yeah, so that's the overhead camera. It's literally right here. That's why it's always like so cumbersome when I move things around, because I'm like, no, there's stuff here. Let me actually put a... It's got a magnetic lens cap. But, yeah, screenshot. No, don't screenshot. I mean, you can see, like, that Shelf of Shame game. And, like, if you look really closely, you know what this game is and what that game next to it is. And there's some Switch games. So, but yeah. Should actually see if my Steam Deck is finished loading in the game I just bought. Because Steam sale was on today. So many games for sale. But yeah, I'll hop into Discord. I'll send this print over, hop in Discord, but it'll be about 30 minutes because it's not going to take me long to eat a peanut butter and banana sandwich with some milk. Because that's what I'm feeling like tonight. Tonight's is a peanut butter and banana sandwich kind of night. So, all right, everyone. Thank you for coming to the stream. Grubby, super appreciate you teaching me how to make my trays in half the time It's literally actually about half the time. I don't have to do any of the dimensioning anymore. I just hit the button. That's going to make things real easy. So, all right, everyone. Peace out. We'll see you on the next one. I'll have another board game review. I think board game reviews are going to go up on Tuesdays. Mondays will be videos from gaming. I'll probably game this weekend online. Maybe I'll game tomorrow. I just have to finish one edit. I finished what I had to do today on the edit that I'm working on for a wedding. And then I just got to do like the Photoshop stuff. I got to like take out like zits and stuff. So I just got to do that, which is just tedious. You know, I wish I could do it on this computer and show people, but I don't like showing people's wedding pictures. So that would be nonsense. So, all right, everyone, I'm hanging up. Y'all have fun. We'll catch you later. And don't forget to wash behind your ears and hug everyone that you care about.